Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we're going to be talking finances. All right, guys, so today we're going to be taking a little bit of a different turn, and I know what you're thinking. Why are we talking about finances on a health and wellness channel? Well, because your finances tie directly into your health and wellness. How does that work, Chris? I'm going to tell you, just calm down. All right, so as we all know, stress is the silent killer, right? People die from stress-related issues all the time. Sometimes you'll die from a stress-related issue and you don't know it. Obviously you're dead, so you wouldn't know it, but your family wouldn't know it. Stress causes so many different things in our body to malfunction, and essentially all stress is a chemical imbalance. This can be caused by mood swings, anger, outside stressors from work, from relationships. I mean, pretty much any aspect of life can cause some type of stress on our body. There's also physical stresses from, doing any type of repetitive work, eye strain. I mean, the amount of stressors in this world are limitless. So with that being said, it's something that we should definitely pay a lot of attention to. And today we're going to be talking about how your financial situation stresses you out. Now, as many of you adults know, being an adult, paying bills, paying off student loans, paying car insurance, buying groceries, having to take care of your kids, worrying about field trip money, worrying about doctor bills, whatever you got going on can be very overwhelming. This world is all about capitalism, especially here in America, and everybody's trying to make a buck. But they're not just trying to make $1, they want to make as much money off you as humanly possible. And so we have so many bills that weigh on us on a weekly, daily basis. And if we don't keep a good grasp on our finances, we can find ourselves completely overwhelmed by debt, which is a very stressful situation. Now, while I don't personally know anybody who's committed suicide from being just completely drowned by debt, I have heard many stories of people who built these large empires or, doctors or lawyers, people who just had a lot of debt from cars and houses and all sorts of things, and then all of a sudden they lose their job, whether it's because of the economy, whether it's because of a lawsuit, whether it's because of whatever, a war, and they can't take it and they kill themselves. So this is a very serious topic for me to be discussing. It is directly related to the health and well-being of all of us, and it's something that we should not ignore. All right, so just to give you guys a little bit of background, yes, I studied health for quite a while, and yes, I am self-taught. Well, before I ever learned about health, I mentioned that I did study some other things. One of the other things I studied for myself was finances. Actually, finances, I think, was probably the first thing that I decided I was going to self-teach myself. And because I wanted to start my own business and my credit was poor and I didn't have any resources in my immediate family or circle that I could go to learn about credit. So I had to look for information myself. And this is when I actually got really good at filtering through a lot of the BS you can find on the internet. And so anyway, after about 2 years of researching finances, I became a self-proclaimed guru, finance guru. I wrote a book and I've helped many of my friends and family increase their credit scores and also maintain healthy credit scores and financial situations. Now, with that all being said, because I've helped other people and of course I was able to help myself, I have a good outlook on how to manage finances and I understand a lot of the things that some of you guys might be dealing with. So feel free to ask me questions, especially anything concerning credit or budgeting or anything of that nature. I'm gonna go over a few quick tips just to kind of help get you guys started. And I think this is probably gonna be a topic I'll touch on again a little bit later. So as far as the average American, we usually live check to check, okay? Now this just means that you get paid on Friday and by Friday the next week, you're waiting for your paycheck because you've run out of money. All right, a lot of times people actually spend more money in a month than they make in a month, and that's where you start incurring debt. All right, now credit card debt is one of those things that can be glorious or it could destroy you. Anytime that you get a new credit card, typically you don't want to use it unless you actually have the cash to make the purchase that you're going to make on your credit card. So let's say you wanted to take a trip to Hawaii, it was going to cost you $3,000. You could just charge that on your card and have no money in the bank. Or you could save up the $3,000, charge the money on the card, and then slowly repay the debt in order to build credit, right? Now, for a lot of us, we usually don't take the time to save the money that we're actually going to spend on a credit card, so we end up just accumulating debt that we actually can't afford, and that's where you start getting in trouble. Also, a lot of us went to school, we went to college, and college is not cheap. Once again, big business trying to take advantage of us. So a lot of us have, $40, $50, $100, $200,000 of student loan debt that we have to pay back every month. And it can become very overwhelming to manage all this stuff. So a couple quick tips. Like I said, number one, if you have a credit card, don't spend money that you don't actually have, all right? That's how you get into a lot of trouble. Emergencies happen, we all understand that. Try to pay back your credit cards as soon as possible before you start spending money on other things, okay? Just try to be responsible about it. Another good tip that I used personally is I like to save $1,000, all right? I like to have a nest egg of $1,000 at least in my savings account or in my checkings account that I don't need to touch. It's just sitting there. Now, for you that maybe aren't used to saving, that might sound like a lot of money. So it might take you a little while to get up to $1,000. But what I found is once you have $1,000 in the bank account, it kind of becomes addictive, right? Like you really start enjoying saving money. It's weird. And you want to see that 1,000 turn into 2,000 and that 2,000 turn into 4,000 and so on and so forth. Once you have your $1,000 in the bank and you've saved it up, no matter how long it takes you, take a break. Take a break from saving. So if you were saving $50 a week, $200 a month, whatever it is that you're saving, take a break, spend some of that money on yourself, reward yourself for a job well done. You've met your first save goal. Then after that, start saving till you have enough money to take care of about at least 3 months of your monthly expenses. So if it costs you $1,000 to live for the month, right? That's food, gas, bills, whatever else you got going on. If it's $1,000 a month, then you're gonna wanna save $3,000 so that if you were to lose your job or come across a hardship or whatever, you have that nice little nest egg that'll give you enough time to either find a new job, or if you're ill, you have enough time to kind of get over it without having to worry about work. One of the things I've noticed, especially with some of the guys I work with, they live check to check. So if they miss a check, they're like really in a bad place. Whereas for me, if I want to take a trip or if I don't want to work 1 week or whatever, it's not a big deal because I have that saving, and that's just a less stressful environment for me overall. Okay, now another thing I want to talk about is budgeting. All right, so some of you guys may not have a lot of experience budgeting. It's one of the things I helped a lot of my friends with. I don't have cable. I haven't had cable for more than a decade. I can't remember the last time I actually had cable. Now I do have internet service, and I do have a couple of the Hulu, Netflix type services, all right? And one of the things I found was if you do like to watch TV, you're into movies, you're into shows, that's cool. I wouldn't tell you, hey, just cancel all that stuff. But you can find Hulu or Netflix for $9 a piece, plus your internet package. You could save $100, even more depending on how much you're spending on your cable bill, just by reducing that, taking the HBO off, taking all of those extra sports channels and everything like that off, and getting the little subscription services that you pay every month, and just paying for specifically what you want. It can actually be a great way to save money, and it will also give you the extra money you need in case you don't have the money to start saving. Like I said, a lot of us do spend money check to check, so you might have to try to look in your budget. You might have to try and look at your lifestyle and try to find some extra money. Another great way to save money or to budget or to squeeze a little money out of your check is to plan your meals better. I find that a lot of people actually eat out quite a bit, and you might not realize how much you eat out until you sit down and think about it. But just upon talking to friends and family members, I find people eat out 3+ times a week, which can easily equate to, $50+ a week. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. A $10 to $15 meal every time you eat out, boom, you've got, around $45, $50 a week that you're spending just eating out. And of course, meal prepping can save you a lot of money. You go to the grocery store, you plan for the week, and you can squeeze a couple, extra $50 out, $20 out, whatever it is. But every week you're doing this, and that's extra money you could put towards your budget. And then of course you can put this towards your save goal, and then that save goal will get hit, boom, and then you can take a break. You can go have some fun, and you can feel really good about yourself. All right, now the last advice I'm gonna give you is just something really quick about paying down credit cards. So if you have a lot of credit card debt, one of the things you wanna do is find the credit card that has the lowest balance. Now I know a lot of people out there talk about interest rates and things of that nature, and that's all fine and dandy, but if you're in a really tight spot, paying the minimum balance on credit cards with higher interest might just be what you have to do for the time being until you can get a little bit more money freed up. So what I would suggest is, let's say you've got 3 credit cards, one you have $3,000 on, one you have $1,000 on, and one you have $500 on, all right? Squeeze as much money out of your budget as you can. Go ahead, put that extra money towards credit card with $500, pay all the way down to zero, while just maintaining minimum balances on your other credit cards. And then once you've paid off your credit card with the $500 balance, you take all of that money you were taking weekly or monthly or whatever, putting towards that card, and you put it towards the next lowest credit card, which would be the $1,000 credit card. And you do that so on and so forth until you pay down that card, and then you go on to your biggest card, which was the $3,000 card. This is a good method for paying down debt. It gets really confusing when you start focusing on interest rates and things of that nature. This is just a really simple tactic, and it works. It works really well. So that's just a few tips I wanted to give you guys today about financing, budgeting, etc. I hope it helped a little bit. I know I talked really fast. I didn't want to make this video super long, but please, if you want to ask more questions, feel free. And if you guys are interested, I could do a longer video on specific topics or even different topics that I didn't talk about, because this is something that I'm really familiar with, and I'd love to help you guys. So yeah, stress is one of those things that we really need to make sure to stay focused on. We don't want to allow ourselves to overlook stress. It's very dangerous, and finances are one of the things that people stress out about more than anything else that I see. Next to like relationships. So hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. If it did, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to check out the Facebook group on Facebook, A Healthy Alternative. All right, it's growing, it's amazing, it's doing really well. It's a great place to get support. You can ask more questions about any of the topics I talk about. But yeah, as always, don't forget the application of knowledge is power, and I'll see you guys next time.